Hey, it's Big Gun, Brian Petrie coming weekly Wednesday takes. Not a gamble when I ramble. All my slime balls we parlay. We just stick to the money. The tickets no funny. The chalk boys get in the bag. Nothing in stage, top in the cage. Needed a chin and he lay on the mat. It's Wednesday takes, making Wednesday great. You'll see in MMA. Big Gun Brian, no denying where he be and what he say. Word of my cappers, we speak facts from start to finish. What's the weight? The value boys, we showing love. CGI dub is Wednesday takes.
Woo! Wednesday takes. Not really. This is the live version. What's up? First comment right off the bat. Boom. Marina Moroz is doing Playboy. Should be the first thing to talk about just to promote women. Okay, let's promote women. I love that women can profit off their bodies as long as they are willing and able to do it, and it's consensual. If a hot chick wants to make some money showing a little bit of skin, I fucking love it. I hope she gets rich doing it. Trend Daddy, this guy's a stud. Invicta on tonight, 2 fights and fight talking. Big chillin'. Invicta is on tonight. I need to get more on my Invicta shit. I got to be honest with you. I don't watch a ton of it. I need to watch more of it. But welcome. Listen, I want to talk about just kind of, whatever you want about, whatever the chat wants about. Also, fucking Bo Nickel last night. Woo! Listen, I've been thinking about this all goddamn day. I don't want to get ahead of myself, right? I get the googly eyes, okay? I love the new guys, but Bo Nickel, I feel like people aren't appreciating what we got in this sport. I am MMA over anything. I want MMA to become the biggest thing in the world. We miss out, and we, as the MMA community, miss out on these big, talented guys. Gable Stevenson, he went to WWE, wanted to do the MMA, wanted a big contract, and was like, sorry. You know what I mean? So we're getting, oh God, look at this guy. Just in time for the Bo Nickel talk. Christian is a Bo Nickel hater. And I'm going to tell you why. If you hate Bo Nickel, you're anti-American. If you're an American, right? We've had the EVs, the OVs, the Dagestanians, the Russians coming over, and then you got guys from Ireland they travel well. There hasn't really been an American that the American people rally behind. You know what I mean? Bo Nickel's that guy. Bo Nickel thrashes every wrestler in the UFC. He's that good. But we miss out on having guys like this in MMA. David Taylor, who beat Bo Nickel in the Olympic trials, Penn State wrestler too, no interest in MMA. Kyle Snyder, a Columbus guy, won the gold in Olympics, no interest in MMA. We need these MMA guys or these wrestlers, these high-level wrestlers, to see what Bo did and go, fuck, I can get a little bit of shine. I can make a little bit of money. I can get a fast, a jump start right there. And Bo is exceptional. And man, dude, he rolled to his back and triangled a guy. 7-1. And let me put this into perspective, right? So yeah, he only had 2 fights, and he hasn't fought any high elite guys. When Chimaev debuted in the UFC, who's a Swedish wrestling champ or whatever he has, does not have the credentials Bo Nickel has. He came and he was 6-0, right? And he fought John Phillips. I think Donovan Beard last night is better than John Phillips. I think Donovan Beard's better than Reese McKee. Those were Chimaev's 2 fights. Brock Lesnar came to the UFC after 1 fight. Now, I know Brock, listen, yeah, huge star. He's huge in WWE, but he didn't have the wrestling credentials as a Bo Nickel, right? I'm not saying Bo Nickel's as popular, as big as a star as Brock Lesnar, but with this whole, let's rush it, let's not rush it. I love that he called Chimaev. I do think he dropped the ball a little bit. I know this is the area of social media or whatever. When he called out Logan Paul for the WWE, you can leave that shit at home. But Bo Nickel, man. Christian and my guy Timbo, anti-American. I'm saying it right now. Let's get up with the chat. Trend Daddy, that fucking guy cracked the overhand like he hit it 1,000,000 times. It's his 3rd fight. Thank you, Trend. Jake Billingsley. I'm huge on Bo. Seeing the big MMA personality says he's ready to top 10 scares me. Just started him 22. I mean, listen, I get it. You throw him in there early, you're like, what's going on, right? That maybe too much too soon. 100%. That's a real possibility, but I don't think it is. Everyone that's trained with this guy is a stud. You see what happens with wrestlers. Like, this is the biggest signing in MMA since, I say, probably Henry Cejudo won the gold and came over, right? These littler guys, they usually don't get the shot in WWE because they're not these big beefcake guys. Cejudo came over, but instead of Cejudo, who's an amazing fighter, by the way. I'm not knocking Cejudo, but instead of going, oh, I can take everyone down and I could submit them, I'm just going to become a sick boxer, which he did. And he obviously used his wrestling defensively and offensively when he had to, but he wasn't submitting guys. Bo Nickel goes, oh, I'm going to learn boxing and I'm going to still use my wrestling and take people down. I mean, that's the thing with Ben Askren. He was a great wrestler, has some other credentials that Bo Nickel has, not nearly as athletic, cannot stand up for shit, but he would take everyone down and he just wasn't submitting anybody. He would just TKO him with his little bitch shots. You know what I mean? If he learned wrestling, and he has said this before, or excuse me, jiu-jitsu, if these wrestlers learn jiu-jitsu the way that Bo Nickel was, I mean, he rolled to his fucking back and triangled somebody. You don't see triangles much in MMA anymore, and he fucking rolled to his back. Wrestlers don't like being on their back. Unbelievable. Let's see what Chris. I'm not rallying behind the cringe-ass ginger. You can have him. Hey, he's an American hero, Christian, you son of a gun. And I would classify him as strawberry blonde. I'm not going to throw the ginger on him. I think he's strawberry blonde, okay? So you better watch your mouth. Bovis Chimaev with the eyes by Blake Morrow. Yes, that's a big jump. I called for it last night because I was feeling myself. I try to find a DM. So if you guys been with me for a while, you've been following the channel for a while, you know that back in when this channel first started, I was or not channel, this podcast. I haven't been on YouTube that long. When this podcast first started, I wanted to be maybe an interview guy. Let me get fighters in an interview. So if you go through my Instagram DMs, I've DM'd every fighter, pretty much. And I got some responses, some nah, some maybe, talk to this, whatever. I DM'd Bo Nickel about 2.5 years ago and was like, I need to know if you're in MMA, because they had been brought up if he was going to do it. And he was non-committal till he went to the Olympic trials. And then he lost to David Taylor, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm all in, because he was training with Jorge Masvidal and signed with the American Top Team, whatever. But MMA needs to get these high-level wrestlers, and Bo's the first of many. Here we go. The Black Wizards. Do you think Bo should cut to 170? He looks like he probably could be leaner. You're 100% right. He won a national championship at like 175 pounds or whatever it is in college. And then he went up, and he actually went up to over 200 pounds. He did 3 times. So he could cut to 170. He could even get bigger and go up to 205. He's a big, tall kid. That's a possibility. Yeah, he kept challenging himself, get higher in weight. Obviously, when you get a little bit older, you grow in weight as well. But 170 is something that he could probably do with that wrestling background. I don't see a weight cut being an issue. But 170 stacked too. You got some really good guys at 170. 185, though. 185, I think there's not any really true grapplers in that fucking division. I mean, let me pull up the UFC rankings. I mean, there's no like Russian killers at 185. I mean, I know we can talk about Chimaev, but he's technically not at 185 yet, right? And you got, Israel Adesanya, who is an absolute stud, but he's not a fucking let me share this screen here, bitch. Nope, not share video. Excuse me, new program here. Window. There we go. Share. What's up? Add to pro. There we go. It's going to cover my face a little bit here if you boys can see that. There we go. So we're looking at right here. Robert Whittaker, not a wrestler. Very good fighter. Israel Adesanya, not a wrestler. Jaron Cannonier can grapple a little bit, but nothing to worry about. Marvin Vettori stinks. Alex Pereira, pure kickboxer. Derek Brunson, a wrestler, but old. Paulo Costa, good takedown offense. That'd be an interesting fight. Sean Strickland, anti-wrestling, a lot of striking, not a wrestler. Jack Hermanson, good on the ground, likes it on the ground, but I wouldn't classify him as a beast wrestler. Darren Till, absolute no wrestling. Andre Muniz, fucking killer on the ground. That's probably one of his hardest matchups because his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. Yeah, Kelvin Gastelum, again, good wrestler, but not to the Bo Nickel level. You got Nasruddin Imanov, who is an OV, but he's more of a kickboxer as opposed to a grappler. He does have some sambo background. Justin Duplessis, South African, no kickbox or no grappling. I mean, he has some good top control, but nothing. Brad Tavares, non-grappler. Chris Curtis, my guy, I love you, but you're not known to be a grappler. So, it's okay. I got to get rid of this now. All right. Sky, Sherry. Here we go. Bam. There you go. See my face now. Let's get back to the chat. So I think it's literally laid out for him to do good at 185. Blake Morrow says, but for real, who could Chimaev fight next? I'm guessing just Colby if Usman's going to rematch Leon. Correct. This is what I find interesting, right? Is he tweets out 185. That's where he's going because he can't make 170. And then a day later, he goes Colby. Now, Colby's a smaller 170. I don't see Colby going to 85 to fight Chimaev. I think that fight makes sense. I think that fight needs to happen. Colby, who else is going to Colby get a fight? He's going to rematch fucking Usman again. If Leon beats Usman, then he could maybe get Usman. So maybe that's what he's holding out for. But you want to stay active. You know what I mean? You want to stay active. And I think Chimaev's the guy. I mean, he's the needle mover right now at 185 or 170. And he's the big ding, sweat ding, big bah. I can't talk. The big dick swinging guy right now with not the biggest ranking, but one of the biggest followings. I mean, look at his followers on Instagram and everything. The guy's fucking huge. So Colby should take that fight. I think it'd be very interesting. But yeah, Chimaev, if he's going to go up to 85, it's got to be Costa because they had that little beef and Costa wants it. That would be fun. He's a fucking huge guy. Chimaev, I don't think is making 170 regularly. Even if he becomes champion, he's going to miss weight and lose the belt on the scales. I like him at 85. Eventually, he's still a young guy. He can make that cut, but he's only made 70, like one time in the UFC, maybe two times. So yeah, you gotta really get that cut down. He's a big boy and he's lean too. So it's not like a ton for him to get off of here. Rex Lee, who would you match up Bo with his debut? Man, yeah. So I think I think the people out there saying you gotta do it smarter, right? He's a star. He's making headlines. I think he won like Big Ten Athlete of the Year as a wrestler or something like that, which is crazy. That's how good he is. So yeah, you got to be careful with them, but I wouldn't stray too far from outside the top 15 if I'm being honest with you. I know it's early, but I mean, again, I keep comparing to Brock Lesnar because even though he didn't have the popularity Brock Lesnar had, he has the athletic gifts as Brock Lesnar, and he has a better wrestling pedigree. And Brock Lesnar debuted against fucking Frank Mir and won the title like 3 fights later, which is nuts. He did something that, it's going to be hard to duplicate. Plus, that was that heavyweight division where Brock is also a phenom or whatever. But I wouldn't stray too far outside of 185. Man, in the top 10, I just named the top 10, I think, or top 15, I should say. I think Jack Hermansson's fun. He looked really good against Chris with the movement and stuff. He's a grappler. I think that'd be a fun fight. And then Chris Curtis actually tweeted this out. Joe Pyfer in the Contender Series looked great in his debut. Both red hair guys, pale bodies, similar styles, or not similar styles, similar physiques. They look exactly alike almost. So Ginger versus Ginger, you know what I mean? I think that'd be a good matchup too. But yeah, I wouldn't stray too far away from the top 15 if I was the UFC. I would don't give them like, because they tend to do that with like an O'Malley, even a Chimaev. They baby step guys. I don't know if Bo Nickel needs baby steps. I think this dude's ready to take some full-grown steps. Take the training wheels off. This kid's special, man. I'm telling you, he's fucking good. Andre Muse, best 185 BJJ guy, 100%. That's probably Bo's toughest fight right now, I think, besides the upper echelon guys. Robert Whittaker's a fucking beast. Jared Cannonier's no walk in the park. Izzy's obviously a beast. The best 185 in the world right now. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Andre Muniz on the ground is a fucking handful for anybody. Trindaddy says, I like to see Bo by someone like Fluffy Hernandez or RoboCop if he gets the head back together. RoboCop just got booked. Marcel Dorf just who was it? I should have had this queued up. My bad, boys. This is kind of just, we're going by the flow here. So RoboCop just got booked. Brad Tavares January 21st. So obviously they're thinking that cut's gonna heal. January is a little bit farther away, so that's good. But Brad Tavares was RoboCop's good. But I agree with you. I would like to see RoboCop. Fluffy Hernandez, man, that'd be a fun fight because of Fluffy's style. But I don't want to take the steam out of Fluffy right now because Fluffy wouldn't be able to do that against Bo. And I think Fluffy is a very good fighter, and I kind of want to see him strive a little bit. I don't want to give him Bo right away. Obviously, they're going to meet if Fluffy keeps winning, but I think Fluffy's maybe has earned like another name out there because I'm super impressed every time that kid fights. He's literally like just relentless. His cardio is so strong, and he gets better. And then a third round finish, it's just over a tough Canadian. If you get these guys in there fast, they can take a bad beating that can derail them when they're not sure how to be reacts. When someone cracks them and give them time to burrow. So you're right. I mean, there's obviously that's the consensus is a lot of people, who is this? What's up with the what's up? MMA Type Podcast #1 fan. I'm your #1 fan. I don't know who that is. Could be my wife. No, my wife wouldn't throw Z's in there. She's putting the kids to bed. But you're right. I mean, obviously the fear is Bo get in there, but we kind of need to see that, right? He's 26. He's young. So I'm googly eyed and I want to rush him out there. But let's, maybe play it safe, but maybe not. Either way, he's a needle mover for me. I think Bo should open up a pay-per-view card, a big pay-per-view card, co-headline, maybe he's not ready for a main event yet, co-headline like a main event, really promote the shit out of him because he's got a big name here. RoboCop just got booked for Tavares, Trindade, boom. So, I mean, the chat knows before I do. Ooh, wow, that was quick. Okay, that's what he was responding to. But I guess the head can get back together in January, good matchup. Yeah, the head, did you guys see the fucking vein? The cut was nasty enough. The motherfucker had a vein. Like, oh my God. Like, what are we doing with the fucking vein? I saw that when they spread it up, the state. Oh God, dude, that is fucking brutal. I had to cut on my eyebrow pretty significant, but it was very little. I had to get some stitches. I had to get staples in my head one time. This is before cell phone cameras, but I desperately wanted a photo of it because I hit my head on a locker at school and it's fucking just cracked my head, and they had to staple it up. And I remember it was like 6 staples. And I remember the doctor going, this is a pretty deep white. I would love to have seen that, but I don't think it's showing veins like RoboCop, for fuck's sake. All right, Ryan, who would you want to see drop or gain 10 pounds to compete at 145 and potentially challenge Volk? That is a great question. I tell you what, my dream matchup for Volk, and this might not be the most popular answer, but it's going to be AJ McKee. I would love to see AJ McKee. He's fighting this weekend against Spike Carlisle. Let him get out of the Bellator contract, come over, fight a top guy, and then fight Volk. But in the meantime, who should Volk fight? Volk wants to stay active. At 155, I would love to see Volk go up and fight like Islam or Oliveira. That'd be a great matchup. That's what he wants to do. Islam's not making 145. Oliveira has made 45 in the past, but he's since significantly sized up. So off the top of my head, I guess I'm going to go AJ McKee. I know that's a bullshit answer. He's not in the UFC, but man, I would still love to see how Volk does against a guy like Islam, because Islam's so dominant with that one dimension. And Michael Chandler made some good points that he's fought no one. He's looked good against nobody, but then fucking Islam came on the top. I was like, dude, you beat Dan Hooker and you beat Tony Ferguson. Who the fuck are you talking about? And I don't love Islam, but man, he fucking bodied Chandler a little bit. That's how it takes. Is Herb Dean the worst ref? I mean, he was the best. I think the best ref is Jason Herzog it's Kieran. Hey, it's my guy right here. Okay, there it is. Biggest fan. 100% right. Why is Dana Jackson such a topic? Oh, she's kind of busted. See, I got a comment about this. I don't think she's busted at all. I think she's very beautiful. Obviously, listen, I know she's hot. I think she's hot. And I'm attracted to what she's done. Now, I know you can make fun of her. I know we can poke fun at the voice, because she was born in America, but she has a Portuguese accent. Yeah, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, right? But no, I think she's incredibly attractive. Kieran, who is more attractive to you than Mackenzie Dern in the UFC? Let's keep it with women's MMA or guys MMA, whatever you're into, Kieran. I don't know. Dude almost looked like a Canadian from South Park. Yeah, he fucking did. Jason Walker, third eye. This guy I work with. 100% third eye, Jason. That vein is in my nightmares. Trinaldo, this 96-year-old fighting at Trinaldo, the 110 years old. Leon versus George in Wembley. Give Leon a little tie defense at home, and George gets big numbers. I don't hate that. If Leon gets past Usman again, he earns it. Ricci Dern. Wow. Okay, time for the Ricci. Listen. Yeah, I get it. There was a girl I grew up with, year younger than me, my high school girlfriend's, it was her friend, looked exactly like Ricci, right? Italian, tan. Obviously, she's not built like Ricci because Ricci's got some, she's got something to her. But I don't know that might not be my taste. I don't know. I think Dern over Ricci. Joe Jua. Do you remember Joe Jua, Liana Joe Jua? Who's not in UFC anymore? She was she was my number one for a while. But Mackenzie Dern, what she's come through with the kid and then changing her life and then being a top fighter the way she is, incredibly talented, unbelievable. Everything neck down, hot as hell, but faking the turtles a bit much. Okay, all right. So you're calling her a butterface. That's a little mean, Kieran. It's a little mean, but I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it. I think she's beautiful, but what are you gonna do? Looks like a McJay walk. All right, I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow about that, man. Looks like a man. You look like a man, you son of a bitch. Rebus of Agapova. No, that's the Agapova is better looking than Mackenzie Dern. Agapova. I should block you, but I love your fucking name so much that I'm not going to block. Agapova? Get out of here. Tatum Temple. Do you think Bo's lack of record will hold him in the top 15 for a while? I don't think so, Tatum. And I was explaining it before. I think what he's done outside the cage with wrestling means so much in the MMA. I do think that they're going to probably baby step him because Dana didn't sign him the first time when he should have, even though I am on conspiracy theory that motherfucker was already signed. Yes, I think that he's going to get top 15 within 2 fights. I think they're going to give him someone outside the top 15. And then if he blows through him, an established UFC guy with maybe at least 1 or 2 wins in the UFC, if Bo beats him in the first round, not first minute, but first round, they have to speed walk this guy. They have to give him someone top 15 or he's going to fucking murder somebody in the cage. That's how fucking good he is. That new tough winner. Okay. That's fair. Brian Battle, if he's still at 185, would be interesting. I could go through the roster. Dern's like bottom 20%. You are out of your fucking mind. Out of it. I respect everyone's opinion, but you're out of your mind. Dern, yeah, here we go. Dern said Zuckerberg brought out UFC Stadium for Fight Saturday. He's going full fanboy. It is crazy. So I got upset, and this is just because of how the internet works. And MMA media is such a joke sometimes. Someone wrote, it was a real journalist said, fans and media are not allowed at the UFC event this weekend. No explanation why. Non-COVID related. Some random guy, not checkmark, not anybody, just goes, I think Trump's coming. 3 or 4 fucking websites reported the UFC is, I saw it on Reddit, the UFC is shutting down for Donald Trump or whatever. And I'm like, why would he be going to this fight of all fights, right? And then, it makes sense because apparently he got booed in New York and, he is an ego guy and all that shit. But I'm like, people are running with this story and posting it on their website because of one commenter with no source, right? Like, what, like, huh? Like, what are we doing here? And then Mackenzie said, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg ran it out, which makes even more sense because he's a robot and other human people around him makes him very uncomfortable. I got to imagine he's bringing a squad with him. Got to imagine he's going to bring some Facebook people. What are they called? Meta people. Maybe he'll be in the metaverse, whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, that makes sense that as someone like Zuckerberg, a fucking billionaire who is now, commenting on UFC fighters pages and we saw the training footage or whatever. Now, let me say something right now. Mark Zuckerberg, I fucking kick his ass. No, I mean, who wouldn't? But that's dope that he's into the UFC here. Stop the cap. Stop your cap. Jessica Rose Clark, Loki. Yeah, Jessica Rose Clark is for sure. I think Tyron Woodley, don't hold me to this. This is rumor mills. I think Tyron Woodley might have fucking risked it all for Jessica Rose Clark. I think he lost his marriage because of Jessica Rose Clark. When he was still married, he was commenting on some of her weightlifting photos. You know what I mean? The only middleweight is the top 15 doesn't have a double-digit record is Pereira. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Pereira, that's another great point by Tatum here. Pereira, kickboxing record, doesn't have an extensive fight in MMA. I know kickboxing is a little more conducive to MMA, but he got fucking shot out of a cannon, right? I think Bo should get shot out of a cannon. I love the guy. I get a Bo Nickel tattoo if someone paid for it. I'm going to get a Scrap Life shirt. I was this close. If I was still training regularly and I was a wrestler, I was this close to buying his Scrap Life wrestler shoes. I'm a Bo Nickel guy. You're going to see me with a t-shirt sooner or later with a Bo Nickel t-shirt. Full fuckboy, full fanboy. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Kieran, what do you got? How could you forget Jessica Rose Clark? Love of my life. She's least above Dern, and I'm a fucking Warren. Barry bosom. Yeah, listen, Jessica Rose Clark's a beautiful, beautiful girl. I would die for Jessica Rose Clark. That is very romantic. She could roll me in a ball and almost kill me. I would just tap it. Yeah, it's, Gadela, Claudia Gadela. See, I think Claudia Gadela is very beautiful too. A lot of people online say she looks like a man. She looks like Henan Barrow. I don't see it, right? There's some rumors about Claudia Gadela out there, some wild rumors. I'm not going to spread them here like I just did with the Tyron Woodley thing, but you do a quick Google search, you go to Reddit or whatever like that, you'll see some rumors about Claudia Gadela, and they're positive rumors. So Trendice and Megan Anderson, I listen, whatever Casey Kenny, do you remember that? Casey Kenny was on Sugar O'Malley's podcast like a year ago, and they asked, would you bang Megan Anderson? He's like, nah, I don't think so. Casey Kenny, you're this big. Okay. You're this big. And you're passing on Megan Anderson. She's gorgeous. She's tall. She's funny. She's, tattoos. Like, I'm a tattoo. What are we doing here? Little Casey Kenny said, nah, I'll pass on her. What? You shouldn't be passing on anything, bro. You should be like, yes, I would eat dog food to be near her. That's what Casey Kenny should be saying. Here we go right here. Is Easy B's prayer and then Chimaev, does he become the GOAT? Woo! Yeah, I think so. I've been on the GOAT train for a while. Listen, Anderson Silva's, he's hard to beat because he came in and I think he would have been much more popular if he spoke English, right? He speaks a little now, but in his prime, he didn't speak English. I think if he spoke English during those chael run-ups, man, I think he would have been a bigger star than he is, which is it's really hard to say because he's such a big star. But man, yeah, if he beats Chimaev, and then obviously you got to run it back with Whitaker because that second fight was very close. Even though I'm an Izzy guy, it was close. He's got to go up to 205 after that. There's nothing for him at 185. Let's go. Better late than never. Jesse Alonso, my guy. What's up, babe? Megan wins. How does Dern compete with these women? She competes, babe. Kay Hansen, the OnlyFans fucks. Yeah, I'm not an OnlyFans guy. I've never paid money for an OnlyFans. I have heard through the grapevine, aka Reddit, that Kay Hansen is killing on the OnlyFans game. She's a young girl making that. She's married now, making that money. Good for Kay Hansen. Get that money, man. You're a young girl. Are you concerned about Bo's cardio? We have about 3 minutes of tape on him, dominant wrestling and different cardio. I don't think you can wrestle 15 minutes for full speed. You're 100% right. Cardio, that's the only thing I'm a little worried about, right? Because he goes pretty hard early. And if he keeps getting these first round finishes, when he gets in there with a guy that can go second and third round, we're worried. Now, obviously, if you watch his wrestling tape, which I'm not a huge wrestling guy, but I have seen a lot of Bo Nichols stuff, I think that his cardio is good. I do. But MMA cardio is different. And you're right. You can't wrestle full speed. You'll fucking, you can't do everything full speed. You got to take some stuff off a little bit. But yeah, that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Obviously, as he progresses, obviously you got to see him take a shot. He's never been hit. Yes, he takes a shot. He moves well. I like that he's southpaw. He's a natural righty, but he goes southpaw because he shoots best off his right foot. I love that he trained southpaw. That left hand that he dropped Beard with last night was deadly. His double leg is insane. His control's insane. He's got that wrestling strength. He's built a little different than a wrestler. He's a little bit tall and lanky. Usually wrestlers are, look at Kyle Snyder. Look at David Taylor. They're short and fucking bricked up. Bo's a little gangly. He's got some sides on him, but he's a little gangly, which I think just is going to help his striking because he's not just so fucking, muscled out. Bet I'll pay for that. Yep. What I know, Brian's got the info on these girls. Listen, I am a Reddit user. Reddit has the info. I just heard some things about Claudia Gadela. And again, I'm not going to spread them here because, just do a quick Google search of Claudia Gadela and her girlfriend, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Listen, she did. Oh, yeah. Cheyenne Bays. She'll always be Cheyenne Bays to me. Man, yeah, adulterer. I think she's pretty. I love her style. I love her aggression. I love her fighting her in the cage. I think she's a talented fighter. I love her swag. I love her confidence. But yeah, she did her boy JP dirty. JP one little 25er, right? Decent looking guy, not great. And then she goes and gets this fucking big barbarian looking motherfucker from Georgia. Not Georgia the country, not fucking the state. And is living there, right? She'd rather live in Georgia than Vegas. And no knock on Georgia. It's probably a beautiful country, but Las Vegas, best training in the world. She'd rather live there. This guy must be dicking her right for her to go, yep, see you, JP. I'm going to Georgia where I don't speak any of the language. Fuck you. She's commentating Invicta. Nice. Nickel across your shoulder blades. Oh, that'd be good. I don't have anything on my back. That'd be a good tattoo. I was thinking maybe something smaller, but you know what? I can't make that bet. I can't make that bet. I can't make that bet. I can't make it. No. I was going to say if he wins within like 5 fights, wins the title within 5 fights, maybe I'd do it. But man, not only is that expensive, it hurts. And I really don't want another man's name on me. That's the thing. I don't want another man's name on me. We'll think of something, though. We'll think of something. Can we get BC strawweight breakdown? Can you explain that more? BP and BC strawweight breakdown. BP is me. Who's BC? Can we explain that here, please? I'm missing that. What's a logical next match for Paul Bear Jew Craig? Woo! Paul Bear Jew Craig. Listen, I love fucking Craig. I've lost so much money on this guy. Really anybody at 205, he's gonna be an exciting fight. I would like to see him not fight like an old guy, like not run it back with Shogun or something like that. Like to see him get someone good at 205. Let's see. Let's look at the record. So he's ranked 9th. He's fought a lot of these guys. Dustin Jacoby be interesting. He pops out at me. Jimmy Crute pops out at me as well. Jimmy Crute, I think, matches up well. Dominic Reyes, a lot of these guys. Anthony Smith would be fun. Alexander Record, he was out for a while. I'm going to go. My fun answer could be Dustin Jacoby. I think Dustin Jacoby getting slept on a little bit. Striker hasn't really fought anybody that's willing to do what fucking Bear Drew does. So give me Dustin Jacoby, Paul Craig. Paul Craig's stepping back in the rankings, but Dustin Jacoby is on a nice little winning streak, I believe. Poor JP. Yeah, JP Bays, man. Hang in there, JP. It gets better, man. It gets better. I love JP. Yeah, JP Bays. He hasn't won a fight. Yeah, savage. Maybe was I savage about the JP stuff? Yeah, I mean, I'll call it like it is. Brian Petrie and Brian Campbell. Oh, Brian Campbell's a dope dude. I don't know him personally. I've been blocked. The only person ever on Twitter. I've never blocked anybody in my life, and I'll never block anybody. You guys saw the troll that was hounding me, and I think he wanted me to block him because he starts invoking my kids and shit. You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get a block from me. You ain't gonna get a rise at me. I don't know you. I don't give a fuck about your opinion. But Brian Campbell is a dope dude. I like his stuff. I think he's very funny. Knows the shit. Luke Thomas, who I like, but blocked me on Twitter. The only guy that's ever blocked me on Twitter was Luke Thomas. During COVID, he was sharing his opinions about something. I don't even remember what it was. And I simply was tweeting at him and disagreeing with him. Now, this is before I was on John Anik and Kenny Florian. I'm still a nobody, but I was even more of a nobody. And I just was disagreeing with him. We're going back and forth disagreeing with him. And it was like, I'm not cussing at him. I'm not insulting him. It was just literally like having a nice spirit debate because I disagreed with what he said. And the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, let me go. I was actually going to read it back to my boys and send the whatchamacallit, the transcript. Be like, hey, am I out of pocket here? Am I wrong? Whatever. And fucking, he blocked me. Come on, Luke. You're soft, man. We have a nice little back and forth. Never say block me. What are you doing that for? Even though Luke is annoying as fuck. Yeah, see, block me too. Yeah, he's a habitual blocker. Dana Blanco here. Luke blocks more than wow, nice. More than no. Yeah, that's crazy because literally, like, I'm just having a spirit debate. Like, like you guys saw me fucking get bodied by Hawani on Twitter. We're going back and forth. I don't have any emails. I'm giving it back to him as much as I could without my proof. And he didn't block me. He just said, stop following me. So I stopped following him. Luke Thomas was like, we're going to have a little back and forth. And then when you make a point that I was just like, you know what? Not enough time. I'm going to block you. I believe John Anik's boys with Luke. I think they're pretty good friends. So I'm going to have to be like, hey, J.A., get Luke, don't block me. It's not like I need to see his shit, but it's like, come on. You know what I mean? Come on, Luke. I don't think anybody has blocked me, but my followers might be Russian horse. That is true. When I first started out, it took a while for my Twitter. I mean, literally, it took me probably a year to get 100 followers on Twitter, another year to get 200 followers. And then the Anik thing happened. And then, my Twitter blew up. But out of those 200 followers, you're probably looking at least 16 to 20 Russian horse going, hey, come join my webcam and pay me in, it's like, what? Come on. You ain't going to get me. You know what I mean? I'm not, you're wrong guy. You're barking up the wrong tree. Keep following because I need the numbers, but I don't need any of that bullshit you're asking. I ain't need any of that bullshit. Shit, is this thing on? Yeah, this thing's on, babe. This thing's on. You didn't get bodied by Hawani. Thank you, Kieran. I feel like I shouldn't have came at him the way I did without proof, but you know, it is what it is. Nothing worse than when you MMA Journal makes a post that you can't comment on. What's the point? It's true. I mean, like, again, Luke Thomas, it was very, very pleasant. It wasn't, you know, again, it wasn't anything bad. He just said, you know what, fuck with this guy. You know, it almost makes you feel like I won. You know what I mean? Like, because it was a spirit debate. I think we exchanged like 3 or 4 tweets, and then he's like, block me. I'm like, oh shit, I won that. But it's also like, hey, Luke, you know, I kind of like your show with Brian Campbell. I like to watch it every once in a while. How if Tweaker looking going to be body big guy? I love that. Can you give me a few quick thoughts on hypothetical Aspinall versus Gone matchup for me? I would love to see it. I would love to see that as well. Tom Aspinall is a guy I have up here. He's very, very good. Problem is, knee's going to be out probably 9 to 10 months. But him versus Gone is going to be interesting because they're both very similar. They're kind of the new breed of heavyweight where big and extremely athletic. I mean, Tom Aspinall 6'4", looks to be in tremendous shape, right? And Gone is also moves very well, great kickboxer, and is overall pretty well-rounded. If they release lines today, and obviously I think Aspinall will be the dog, I think I'm taking Aspinall because his jiu-jitsu is really good. His boxing's good, and his jiu-jitsu is really good. Obviously, coming off a knee injury is going to scare me, but if it's a good enough price, I think I'm taking Aspinall, man. I think he's fucking really good on the ground. I mean, he submitted Andre Arlovski fucking easy. No one does it easy with Arlovski. He did it easy. I know Andre, you know, he's old, he's this and that, but yo, he took that neck in that second round without a hook in and went, yeah, and popped his fucking head off. Aspinall. How is Chael just so cool? I don't know. I'm not a huge Chael guy. I never really was. When him and Anderson had their beef, I was on the Anderson side. I liked Anderson in that. I think Chael's very funny. He's made a good career outside of fighting or whatever. I love how he fought fucking anybody, willing to fight anybody on any short, you know, like, oh, what, 2 hours? Yeah, I'll do that. That's a real dude. But I think, you know, if you look at his record, he's got a lot of ugly losses. And in his career that really started to explode, it was because of the steroids, right? Which you can make an argument everyone was on steroids at that point. So it's just an even playing field. But yeah, I'm not a big Chael Daddy guy. I mean, I like him. I don't watch his stuff, though. I don't listen to his podcast. Podcast juice is Mountain Dew, baby. Yeah, hillbilly coffee, baby. I wish I liked coffee. 20 recording watching downright fucking disrespectful. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with every 22 people that are here. Daryl, love it. I love you for calling people out. But yeah, I don't look at the numbers. I'm looking at you guys. I think it's awesome that, you know, 8 o'clock on a fucking Wednesday night, you're sharing a little bit of time with me. I think that's fucking dope. Alex McClain, let's fucking go. Keep up the good work, bro. Love the show. Thank you, Alex. I love you. Aspinall has a takedown. I agree, Kieran. What's good, brother? How do you feel about Max Rothkopf this weekend? I smashed a -180. So I was a big Max Rothkopf fan. I went, if you scrub my Instagram, I used to give out, before I would do full YouTube videos, I would give out a YouTube pick of the week. And one of my picks was Max Rothkopf. And I went heavy on him. I think he's an extremely talented guy. And then he quit, right? Short notice, whatever. Such a bad look, quitting in between rounds like that, whatever. He had a good first round, and he was against a guy who's not very good, right? But since then, I believe he's been undefeated, -130. I don't know who he's fighting, but I really like Max Rothkopf. I think he's a talented guy. I think hopefully this isn't a Paul Daly situation where we see this guy back in the UFC. Hopefully it's not like, you know, where Dana's like, no, I'm never signing that kid again, like the Paul Daly thing, you know, because he quit or whatever. Young kid, makes mistakes. Let's get him back there. You going with Sugar on October? I can't give away my picks that early, but yes, I'm giving. I am going with Sugar's my guy. It's going to be an absurd number. It's going to be a tough fight, but I can't keep saying Sugar's my guy, put him as a guy that's a future champion, and then not pick him when he goes against an elite guy. Got to go with Sugar. Even if I'm wrong, I'll take that. What's your biggest single bet loss? I'd say mine's 200 straight on Johnny Walker versus Cornelius. Oh, yeah, Johnny Walker versus Cornelius is rough. My biggest single bet loss, so my units are $100, right? And I was going to jump up last year to 200, but I kept it at 100. And obviously, I've been gambling since 2017. I used to do offshore booking. So I started from 10, 20, 50. I was on 60 for a while, and I jumped up to $100. And I'm not a big unit player. I'm not a 6-unit guy on a single fight. There's guys on MMA Twitter that are betting grands and stuff, doing multiple units. I'm more of a spread the board out kind of guy, but I did do $600 on Israel Adesanya, so a 6-unit play against Jan Blachowicz. And that also, not only did I lose the 600, but I lost a friendship to a guy that used to be a part of the podcast who did not gamble. He picked Jan. And on top of that, I lost 600, which is dreadful. And I'm an Izzy guy. I love Izzy Adesanya. Like, he's one of my guys. So now, and again, I always put fan above capper. So I'm devastated that my guy lost. My bank account's now hurting. And I got this guy who doesn't bet $1 rubbing it in. And I went, dude, there's some ethics there. You can shit on me when I lose, right? Perfect strangers do it all the time. But when we're in a group chat and we're doing a podcast together and you fucking rub my nose in a $600 loss when you're not risking $1. And then if Jan lost, all you say is, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't a friend, dude. That's a guy who's not looking out for your best interest right there. That's a guy who just wants to be right. And then if he's wrong, okay, oh well, blah blah blah. If I'm wrong, I lose $600, which I did. So that kind of sucked. But that was my biggest loss, 600. Undefeated, undisputed, ugly losses. What? No sense. There we go. Are you planning on doing live chats more often? You do a great job. I enjoy your content. Thank you. I would love to. I got 2 young kids. They're in bed now. I'm a loud fucking guy. My little office extra bedroom is right next to their bedroom. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to do this. I would love to start making the podcast live as well. I do the pick 'em early in the week. It's just my hours are so fucking, I got to be up at 5 and you take care of the kids and stuff like that. But I got to find time. Because this live chat stuff with you guys, 22 people watching, I think it's fucking dope. I used to do lives 2 years ago with Timbo and Christian. We have 3 people. You know what I mean? And that was fun. Like, I'm not doing this for like eyeballs or whatever like that. I love that everyone's here, but this is just like, I love fucking doing this. So yes, the answer is yes. And I appreciate the compliment too. Just wanted to say, my brother, Pat, and I love your show. Keep up. Thank you, John Friend. John Friend's a good guy. DMs me on whenever I do the weekly questions for Wednesday Takes. This guy's always in the DMs on Instagram with some really good questions for the show. So thank you, John Friend. I appreciate you and I appreciate you and your brother enjoying my show. Appreciate that, bro. I watched Max and the dog in past podcast too. That dog gonna come back to Big Show barking like Romeo. I love it. Yeah, listen, Max Rokoff, he's talented. He really is, and I really don't think people should take that one moment away from him, because I think he is very, very skillful. But unfortunately, in the MMA world, the way our minds are. But then again, on the flip side, if you're making money, let people fade Max. Be like, oh, he's a quitter, and then we can fucking reap the benefits, because I think he's a very good fighter. That's kind of stinging, because all my accounts on paper, I think Izzy should have won. Yeah. I mean, it was a close fight. I have, believe it or not. So I have a weird memory where I don't really have to watch a lot of fights all the time to remember how they go. It's like an elephant's memory, right? I'm built like an elephant. You got elephant memory. I'm a big guy. I got a trunk in my pants. Nice little joke there. But, I haven't rewatched that one back. I've wanted to, and I've heard people say that, like, oh, I think Izzy won. But I haven't watched it back yet. I need to get on I need to start watching that back, because again, I keep seeing that or whatever. I know Izzy, I think, won the earlier rounds. Tim Mitchell. Shout out Tim Mitchell. Shout out Trindaddy. He's a loyal, great guy. But shout out Tim Mitchell, future father, Tim Mitchell there. I bet $1 on Yuri to sub Glover at 345 and got paid 101. That's fucking great. I love that. I absolutely love that shot in the dark right there. What you've learned from that, squad shy T 420, whatever. I'm sorry. What you've learned from that is that you got instincts. So $1 next time is $2. Next time is $3. Next time $4. Next time you're betting these fights with your instincts and you're getting fucking grands, bud. I love that shit. That was a good hit. If my bet loses and Dillashaw wins against Aljo, do you think Cejudo comes back and actually gets the immediate title shot? Need podcast juice there. Mouth dried up. I actually don't. I think Cejudo, I think he's going to come back, but I think he'll fight somebody first. I think that's fair. I think he has a name, and the UFC might offer it. But if I was Cejudo, I go, Let me get another guy at 135. Maybe let me get Cheeto. Let me get Sanhagen. Marab would be fucking sick. Imagine Marab or Cejudo with Cejudo's wrestling pedigree and Marab's just a relentlessness. That'd be fucking sick. But, you know, it is a business. Cejudo wants to get paid. That's why he retired in the first place. He wanted to get paid. So he might come back, but I would like to see him take one fight. I mean, Cheeto's no fucking easy feat. Cheeto might be the most violent guy in the UFC. That guy's fucking nails, man. He's a guy that flew under my radar forever. I never was like on the Cheeto Vera side, but man, that dude's a fucking tank. I don't think the Aspinall is ever going to go back the same form after that injury. That's, you know, I mean, listen, knee injuries are fucking crazy. I had a buddy who had a knee injury senior in high school, and we weren't that good of friends. And then he didn't go to college. I didn't go to college, and we would see each other time from time. Dude, his knee rejected the new ACL and shit. And he went through it, man. He went through it, gained about 150 pounds. I felt terrible for him. So obviously Aspinall's a fucking athlete, and he's got some great people around him, and he's good to get some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, knee injuries are fucking crazy. Yo, Timbo. Missed that trio pod before pay-per-view. You're right. We were going to do it last pay-per-view, but Timbo was out of town because he's a fucking assassin. He was out murdering people. That's what he does. He works for the government. He murders people. He hasn't told me outright, but I know it. I just exposed him. And Christian was in Ireland on Conor McGregor's yacht, so we couldn't get it done. But yeah, we're coming back. We're coming back for sure. I'm an overnight guy, but I do security. I usually catch your tweets in the morning. Like, oh, Brian woke up. Yeah. I'm up. I'm up about 4:45. At work about a little after 5. And then I'm using, you know, I'm a delivery guy. So I'm in my van. I got my fucking hillbilly coffee trying to wake up and then fucking firing tweets off. So I appreciate that someone is awake working these fucking hours like I am. And you're a security guard, dude. If you need to fucking bust some heads, let me know, dude. Let me know. That's how security guards work. Got to go for a walk with my bitch, brother. I'll catch the vid. More chats from me. I love you, Kieran. You're the best guy. Have fun with your lady. As a Long Island guy, you have no idea how much of an icon is MMA fans. I don't think he does either. I love Ray Longo. My mother is from Long Island. My mother was born and raised in Long Island until she was 16. Moved to Cincinnati because my grandfather got a job, and you know, it is what it is. And I went to Long Island one time when I was a kid. But my mom is basically a female Ray Longo. Her accent isn't as thick. And she's not Italian, but her accent's not as thick, but she cusses like a sailor. That's why I cuss. She's got a little bit of the accent. And Ray reminds me of my mom, and he always has when he was training Sarah back in the day. And I saw him on The Ultimate Fighter. I'm like, I fucking love this guy. And now I get to kind of know him. I've never met him, but we do the podcast, and he said some nice things about me. Ray's a fucking treasure. I will go to jail if someone ever said something bad about Ray Longo, which no one would because he's a fucking icon, but I will go to jail if they did. I'll fuck someone up. Shout out Trindaddy. We're already out. We're catching up. What's up, Timbo? Good to see you, my man. Trindaddy. I imagine your time is limited, but do you ever handicap any other sports like college football? I don't. College football is my weak area. The only sport I could handicap properly and I wouldn't be good would be football. I love football. I love my Cincinnati Bengals. They play tomorrow night. When I first started doing gambling offshore, like MyBookie and Boveda and all those shit sites, I used to do football as well as MMA. But the way my brain works, 'cause I'm too stupid, I get clouded and I started falling off on both. And then when I would focus too more on this would, and MMA is my life. I love MMA. I love breaking down fights. So I needed to kind of just really focus on something. But if I get smarter or my brain opens up more, I would love to do maybe some NFL bets. And when Ohio opens up in January, when I can legally bet in January, I'll probably throw some bucks in the NFL for sure. Sitting there on Sunday, you know, some prop stuff, which I see people winning, you know, prop stuff is pretty fun. But no, I only MMA right now. College football is just really a weak spot for me. I watch it but I'm not like a super fan. I don't watch college basketball. I watch the Reds when they're good. I'm the biggest Fairweather Reds fan, but no, I only MMA right now. They're only going to give CC a title shot off the rip after he skirted with the belt. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think they will. I think a really good matchup after retirement is what he needs. And then he'll slide right in there. Him and Aljo got beef, but they're also very friendly. There's videos of them in the back and they're real friendly, but then they got beef. But yeah, this does have those cold. Tim does have those. Listen, he works for the government. Okay. I know that. He's told me what he's done like 4 times, and I've never fully paid attention because he makes it seem like it's so boring. but really he's in Bolivia fucking slicing throats. Okay? The guy is dangerous. What's the hillbilly coffee? The hillbilly coffee is Mountain Dew. I'm embarrassed to drink Mountain Dew. I know it's terrible for you, but it's the only thing that I like that gets me up. I don't like coffee. My wife loves coffee. I wish I liked it. I need some pep in my step. I drink two things. I drink Mountain Dew and I drink water. That's it. I don't like Gatorade. Some other sodas I can drink a little bit, but it's water and Mountain Dew, and it gets me fired up. It is what it is. And it's so funny because when I go to work, I got to drive through kind of a bad, I live like 15 minutes away from my work. And the way I get to work, I drive through kind of a rough part of town, not the greatest part of town, a little bit of white trash, a little bit of crime, what have you. And every single person I see where I go, look at this fucking guy. Look at this guy walking. He's got shit all in his pants. Yeah. He's always carrying a Mountain Dew. And it's like, oh, he's the same as me. He's a fucking white trash guy. Cool. Have you gone over the slime ball? Are we putting some? Oh, here we go. Slime ball parlay. What are we at? God damn, we're at 50 minutes already. I had two things to share, but yes, the slime ball parlay is coming up. Let me get through the chat. I'll give you the slime ball parlay. Thank you, Tatum, for reminding me. 100% security. I daydream about someone fucking around and finding out despite having zero training. Like, yeah, I'll just triangle this guy. I love it. Never been a security guard. I applied for a security guard job before I got my current job when I was like 20 years old for a meat packing plant that gets maybe like, basically I'm checking in trucks. But I thought, oh, I'm going to be Swayze from Roadhouse if I get this job. Whoa. You know what I mean? I'm stopping everybody as a 20-year-old kid. Like, probably smart they didn't give me that job. BP, best in the game, baby. Andrew Simpson, you're the best. Durham by sub 110 is crazy. Yeah, I wish there was a plus number, Timbo. I think she can get it done. I think she's going to do it late. I would probably pick a round prop for that. I go maybe round 3. I don't know. I have to really dive in, but minus 110 overall the fight. That says something to me. A Sun Sao versus Victor Henry on the 15th. Low-key banger. Who you taking? A Sun Sao on that price looking sexy. Sun Sao, I feel like he's fallen off a little bit. Victor Henry looked really good against Barcelos. And Sun Sao dog number against Victor Henry, who has a lot of losses, not established vet. Yeah, I mean, hammer the money on that. Love the Bengals and Joey B. Athens, what's up? Yeah, Athens. I spent a lot of time in Athens in my youth, Trindaddy. I went to a couple Ohio University parties that I fully don't remember. There could be a couple children that look like me up there. Don't tell anybody, but Athens, Ohio gets down, baby. That's for sure. I'm all jacked up Mountain Dew. I got to get that for the soundboard, 100%. She thinks I'm sending an email. Can I leave? Can't leave my boys. Ever drank kombucha, BP? I have. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I have the palate of a 5-year-old child. I'm like a chicken fingers kind of guy. I don't like steak. I don't drink alcohol. I literally I eat what my kids eat. Unfortunately, I'm very limited to what I like. So, I have tried it though. My wife loves everything and she has made me try. I used to just say, oh, I don't like it. I would never try it. So now in my life, since we've been together, I try more things and I find out I don't like most things because I'm an infant. You're from Ohio. What the fuck do you just say, sir? It is pop. You're right. Parents call it pop. I had a buddy from Minnesota that I grew up with, and his parents called it soda. You want some soda? And they had that Minnesotan accent, and I loved it. And I think it just kind of stuck in the brain. But yes, pop. Yeah, pop is what we say here. As a fellow babyface assassin, I will say nobody takes me seriously. Tune security. Time to know I watch MMA. I love it. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are surprised when you guys watch this. Are surprised I've been in so many fights growing up. I've literally been in anybody that knows me in the chat that I grew up with knows this. So many because I had a temper. I'm a bigger guy, but I have a baby face. You guys saw the fucking picture of me at 17 with a pink pop collar. Like they would trigger me and they'd point me out during a fight, and then I'd fuck them up because, it is what it is. All right, so we're getting a little late here. I'm going to give the slime ball parlay here. Slime ball parlay is juicy. So I the third one was tough. So I had 2 Randys and I added Ricci. I like Ricci in this spot. I think she is a talented fighter. I think she's good. Put that right up on my face here. Plus 161 is not the juiciest thing in the world, right? I get that, but we need a win, boys. I was going to add Mike Davis because I do like Mike Davis, but the Slava Claus power to the body really fucking, it scares me. So Ricci over Panay. Panay, I think, is retiring. Randy Costa's going to finish Guido, and Randy Brown's going to go take that 100-year-old man out. So I will share this on social media. Brian PG MMA on all social media now. Hit that subscribe button. Yeah, but that is a sign ball parlay plus 161, almost 2-1. It could be worse, boys. It could be fucking worse. All right, a couple more things in the chat. I got to go. Hello, Mr. Meatball. That's a great name. At least 150 fights. So this is my best friend, Smitty Cent. This is a guy I've known since second grade. I don't know if it's 150, Steve. And it's probably 65. But he was, if you guys remember on Wednesday Takes when I told a story where a buddy of mine got hit out of his shoes and came back and kneed the guy in the head. This is the buddy that got knocked out of his shoes. I love him to death. He's a great guy. Thank you for being in here, Smitty. Do you have any info on the fights this weekend being closed to the fans? Yes, Dare Love It. It is because Mark Zuckerberg rented the whole place out. That is a fact. All right, that's the last. One more here, guys. Big guy with a baby face, absolutely a target in your back. 100%. Ricci is a dog. Yeah, she's a dog, babe. Slime ball locked and loaded. Ride or die BP. Love it. The legendary Smitty. You are hot. That's my wife. We'll end it with a compliment of me being hot. Thank you for watching, baby. I love you. That's it, boys. We're going to do a lot of these more often. You guys are fucking amazing. Go subscribe to the podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Brian PG MMA on all social media. Let's fucking go.